Okay, hi people. So I am making this video. It's kind of like an intro to my discussion episode on being hypnotized by physical beauty as a teenager. And I realize that sometimes I have a lot of words when I speak, and sometimes it's kind of excessive, but there are very important things that I want to say. So what I wanted to do though, just in a general, like what am I doing? What am I talking about? Why am I making this a big deal? Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do right here. Okay, so everyone has a story, right? So basically what I am going to be talking about in length is how I know what I know when it comes to self-worth and the importance of it and what I learned along my journey. And a lot of it, the way that it was as a result of what I saw and observed in society, on TV, in the media, which I think is really fascinating because you would think that these sorts of things start in the home. So, for those of you that don't know, just to summarize that part, me growing up in Pennsylvania with my dad and my Filipino stepmom and my stepbrother. Okay, and I had like these two acquaintance friends who kind of set the stage or the platform, or I don't know, not to call it a platform, but the scene for, I guess, to say not only what it means to be desired or in a woman or whatever it is that a large part of my story, since it has to do with how I viewed, how I guess to say, how important, that's the best way and simply way to put it, how important our looks are in a lot of other cultures, but I'm going to say American culture because that's what I grew up in. So in that episode, I go into so much detail and I'm going to be explaining, like I said, so many excessive things that if you're going through this, and when I was going through this, I didn't know all this stuff. Obviously, I'm going to share with you. And I just noticed things along my journey down the road that I did things that were out of my behavior. And that's how I came to be everything that like I'm going to talk about. So the influence of these two girls in my life, like I said, being I can label it. I've been able to label it over the past, I think, 10 years as being hypnotized by physical beauty and the power that it had over me. Okay, and these are these two significant people in my life. We can call them friend types, but when I look back at it, what made them a true friend or whatever, it's different than, how I would describe what I think of now. I think I thought at the time, they were just people that I, was hanging out with or that was drawn to. And I picked these two people because I thought that they were so beautiful. And so not only was I thinking going into it that I wanted to know what it was like to get that kind of attention, which actually only one of them did, I thought it would make me feel better, and it actually made me feel worse. So these episodes I'm going to talk about, which I want to share with you if it does help you and maybe give some insight into how being in this mindset can affect your whole world and how you view the world and definitely your self-worth. And I will go into explaining and can give you examples because as a result, when I end up actually building myself, building my uniqueness, I think there were things that definitely were unique to me as a teenager, but the enhancement of it as an adult after age 23, the way that it evolved is how I can explain the self-worth issues and basically becoming free. I want to say like 30 to 35, maybe more so 35. And a lot of people will probably say in their journey, there are a lot of people that they just started caring less and less about their physical image or being sexy or being attractive to other people, not until their later on years, which I agree with. It took me a very long time. I don't like to have to tell anybody that, because for me, I feel like it was another form of suffering. I talked about my suffering earlier in terms of how I looked at friends. Well, I'd almost say I would put this before suffering number one. Having body image, face issue, physical image issues, face, body, color of skin, sense of belonging, like all of that stuff. Okay, so I almost would say that's number one. I want to say number one. And then there's all the core challenges, abandonment, rejection, all it's kind of hard to explain there. So that's what I wanted to do in this intro video, is basically say I am dedicating, it is at this point in time, to share this part of my story because it was such a huge part of just everything that I've gone through, and part of also the introvert journey. So I will go ahead and end this right now. And I'm proud of myself for doing now. I've done 3 videos in a row in like 2 days, because I wanted to really focus on doing these solos and sharing with you my stories and just kind of my journey through. It's not just, yes, it's about growing myself, but how much like outside influence can like affect us. And definitely a part of this is saying, yes, how it negatively affected me, but also how I became free or broke free of all of this. And yes, I still have my moments, but at least I've realized at this point in life, my inner character is more important to me. And then also too, when you just realize at some point, you know, just like I said before, you're not for everybody. I mean, everybody's attracted to something different. And my idea growing up is that there was this one way to look. If you didn't look this way, you are not attractive. You will not be accepted. You are just not, you're just not desirable. And that also goes back to my self-worth, my mom, my all of that sort of stuff. So it goes much deeper. I forgot where I was going with this, but basically I'm going to explain in this video coming up my journey and how this all has affected my life and how I can put it into words to explain it to you, and maybe it helps you and provides some insight. Lots of examples. Okay, so I will talk to you in the next video.